Discuss with Are you guys good? So I apologize for the under the wire start to the Historic Preservation and Architectural Review Board meeting. Okay, turn your mics on. Yeah. It's 5:01, and we'll call the meeting of the Historic Preservation and Architectural Review Board, the Village of Cooperstown, to order. There are no public hearings on the agenda, and the first item on the agenda is 92 Lake Street. Dr. Lusk, would you like to come up and tell us about your project, please?
Sure. Well, it's much simpler than the last time I was here several times. At that time we practically rebuilt the place. I bought it, it was a falling down 1852 house with dirt for the cellar, and give you an idea where we started. But thanks to your guidance, I think we have a nice house, and we tore off the vinyl siding, put on wood siding, insulated the heck out of it, put on wood, and we put box inserts 6/6 in it, insulated, and so it came out beautifully, and we love our house, and I'm glad you guys were very helpful.
I'm glad you're happy with the work you've done.
So, one thing we didn't do was, we didn't replace the front porch floor, which is some old pressure treated stuff that's, getting very difficult to keep paint on it, and it's getting pretty shop worn looking, and, I'd like to replace that porch floor. That's all I'm here today about. And I'm hoping you guys would, let me put some checks on there.
Is there a sample of the material you were going to use?
Yeah, I brought an example in.
Oh, okay, Chris just went to get it. Okay, is it the same width as the flooring you have, or is it a different width?
Yeah,
different
I want to reconfigure though. The permanent pressure treated stuff comes from the house out to the end of the porch and just chopped off the sort of very awkward looking mess, I think. And I was down on Pioneer, I think it is, and I looked at the place on either side of Cooley's, and the one place I liked a lot has pressure treated. I think it's the Golden Swan, and they picture framed the ends in the front with about a 4-inch piece of the tracks. I think it just looks very, very finished, very professional, and I've got a little drawing we passed out what I was kind of proposing. Would that be helpful?
Sure.
Yeah. You guys like to share a little bit of what I'm doing. Yeah, I scaled it on graph paper. The porch is 20 feet long and not very deep. It's only about 50 inches deep. And I think with that little picture frame around it and going lengthways, it'll look a lot better than the way it is now, from house to the edge. So I'm hoping you guys can.
So have you measured like the thickness of the material you're planning to use and the thickness of the material you have?
Yeah, it's the same. I think it's 3/4 inch stuff.
So it's not gonna affect the original posts at all or anything,
No,
right?
no.
You'll be able to, you've had a contractor kind of determine that you want to pass these down.
Yeah.
Can we keep one of these for the file?
Yeah, you can have all of
Give
them.
this to Mark to make sure it's in the file. Okay. And then you wanted to frame it all the way around on the side that's the house as well as the front and
Yeah,
side.
that's optional. I mean, I can run those right straight in without measuring them. I just think the two ends in the front really will be the parts that are pretty visible, and I think they'll really look better with my conversation.
Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Lusk? Aaron, do you know? Ernie, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Gil?
I don't.
Okay. Okay. And then the material you're using, I'm assuming comes pre-painted, and is it paintable in case you decide to change the color, or?
I think Trex will probably last longer than I will.
I understand. Any of us,
In
right?
the
Nothing personal, any of us.
I just turned 90, so it's
No
not
way.
gonna go on forever.
Okay, in that case, does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I propose that H-Bar provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 92 Lake Street. Based on 3D, 3B, I'm going to throw in 5 just because I don't want anybody falling through an old wooden floor.
There we go.
A second.
Okay, thanks, Dave. We have a vote? Dave and Murray. Yep.
Give yes. David, yes. Bernie, yes.
Okay. Liz, yes. Aaron, yes. Great, thank you. Chris will send you your permit.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Have a
Okay,
good night.
We'll make a good looking porch floor there.
And kudos on your restoration in general.
Pardon?
Kudos on your restoration in
Well,
general.
thank you, yeah. We started out with about 700 square feet of falling down house, really. And now we've got 1,700 square feet, and it really turned out super duper duper. And I was glad to get back to wood siding, and I appreciate old houses.
Well, thank you.
I sold a very, very, very nice new house up in Lakeland Shores to Bill Streck to move down to that old house. So must be there was something about it I liked. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lusk. Have a good day. Okay, are you Gary? Gary? No, Gary. Okay.
Before we go to the next one, can we just confirm who is, it's Gibb, myself, Bernie,
Thank you.
and Dave, who are voting?
And me, yes. And then Bonnie and Lizzie are alternates.
Alternates.
So
Okay.
when we, thank you for clarifying. And then there is going to be a recusal, and Bonnie is the first alternate. So Lizzie, you'll be, but it's great that you're here. It's a good learning curve. So, and then we'll move on from there. Good.
And Lizzie can participate in discussions.
Yes, yes.
And ask questions and all that stuff, just no voting.
Right. And unless we're missing two people, or Bonnie, and then you step in. So that's why we have two alternates. So there's a little balance there. No.
Yes.
So you have your 5 regular HR members here. And then Lizzie and Bonnie are alternates, but Bonnie only been for the discussion of
Like, I, my own
Number
number
5.
is on the list too.
so.
The seniority system, right?
Yes.
I'd like to make a suggestion for the to-do list at a later date that we, at some point, talk about how we feel about the treks and what distance from the road we feel that is appropriate and how much lots in general or porch and so forth. At some later date.
Okay, thank you. Let me put that in the notes so I don't forget, thank you. But I'm gonna make a note too. We know this isn't Gary, so, I'm joking. Okay, so Gary's not here, we'll move on to 76 Fair Street. Mike? Come on up and tell us where things are at.
So on the door, last month you approved removing it. She no longer wants to remove it.
Mhm.
She wants to put up a winter door, which is just a
Storm
side.
door?
Storm door, which is just made out of T111 siding, and she's not gonna have a handle on the outside to discourage people from going in that door.
Okay.
And then on the other door, she just wants to put in a glass storm door.
So there are gonna be 2 different doors on the front of the house, you're saying,
Yes.
correct?
Yep. Both of them are technically temporary,
So,
and she'll save the string doors to put back up.
But you're leaving the original wood.
It'll leave the original, yeah.
okay, so the door is almost gonna look like some siding?
Yes,
And it's gonna be there year
Yes.
round, until.
Unless she decides she wants to remove it or the next owner wants to.
This is kind of a courtesy because we do not weigh in on storm doors.
Yeah.
So
But this is a change from last
from
month.
what was approved.
Yeah.
Yes, but if it is the removal of the storm doors and the replacement with something just to cover that main door as opposed to remove it, which I think is a better answer in the long term in terms of the, in terms of the integrity of the structure in the house. And since we don't weigh in on storm doors, I just applaud the creative approach. And I hope that the other storm door, if she is not into the traditional doors that are on there, that's fine. Again, we don't weigh in on storm doors if she's not changing the main doors. So, but does anybody have any questions while we have Mike here about what's going on?
I think it's a great idea, and I think it also keeps the value of the house up too by keeping it that way. But my one, I guess, the one question, perhaps not the answer now, is when does a storm door become a storm door?
Well,
You know, is there any
if
limitation?
it's just a door in front of the actual door,
Mhm.
I think we have to
Very good.
consider it a storm door.
Okay, perfect.
Because it'll be operational, it's gonna have hinges on it, they're just gonna be.
So they could
mounted.
use it in an emergency, it's
Yeah.
still a form of egress,
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just no handle on the outside to discourage anybody.
Right. And it might not be our ideal aesthetic, but in terms of the house, it definitely is kinder to the house.
Right, yeah.
So, Bonnie. Okay, anybody else? Okay, great, thanks for reporting on that.
You have a
Yeah.
drawing on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what happens when you run into the meeting and forget about having stuff on the agenda. Okay, the application to install the deck, tell us about that.
So basically, she just wants to make the deck larger. I've got the measurements on the application, I forgot my paper when I walked out the door.
We see it though, and what you submitted, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We do have copies of that.
In case you need it.
So the existing deck size is 11 by 8.5. She would like to do 16 by 16, make it larger, with a peak roof now of 16 by 8. With the low points of the roof being 7'6", and the high point in the center being 9'6". Just enough to shed a little water and not be too intrusive.
Now, the one thing I can't read on here, under the roof, it says new extended, I just can't read what it says. It's in the crease here in this drawing,
New extended porch roof area.
okay. So I
I
just,
actually didn't draw this one.
okay. And is the porch roof just gonna be the framing and no ceiling? So the kind of exposed framing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the roofing materials are,
Black asphalt.
okay, to match the house. Tell us about the porch materials.
So the porch material is going to be pressure treated. The deck is going to be ground track stacking to match what's there now.
Okay, and is the pressure treated, I'm assuming paintable eventually?
Paintable, yes. It'll be painted.
And the posts are gonna, the caps are gonna be the same? It's hard to tell from the
Same.
drawing.
Same.
And then those supporting posts for the roof are just pressure treated?
Yep. 4x4s. Actually, I think those are 6x6s. I'm sorry. 6x6s, and they're going to be painted.
Sorry.
So with the porch roof is just going to extend the existing roof line.
Yes.
the drawing shows a peak, and I think that's the peak. The
Of
gable
the
end
house.
Of the house
Yeah.
behind. And so a portion of the deck will be covered and a portion will be not covered.
Correct.
And so structurally, that's sound and gonna meet codes in terms of that size and the pitch of that roof and
Yes.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Bernie, do you have any questions?
I guess the only question I would have, I know you brought up in the past the attachment, how it's attached.
How the roof is attached to the house?
Yeah,
So given that that's a flat roof extending from the house, is it just gonna be kind of,
Joyce Fibers.
does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Dave, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Bonnie? No. Erin?
No.
No.
Lizzie? No. Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Move that H Park provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 76 Fair, including I guess it would be field change for the front facade and,
Doesn't really require a field change because they're no longer removing. They're no longer doing what, they're
well,
not-
did we approve just siding and then there's a,
You guys try to remember what we had approved last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Last time.
approved changes, but you're just
Yeah,
not going
you're
to.
just not gonna make them, so.
So, okay.
Yeah, so it's good to have noted in the minutes that the changes that were approved in July or August are no longer gonna be made,
okay,
but, instead a storm door will be installed.
okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not really a field change as much as, okay.
All right, so I move that H Park provides for purpose for the project at 76 Fair, to construct a deck on the rear of the house on criteria 2B, 3A, B, D, and 4D.
J, sorry.
J.
Doesn't look like a letter, does it?
No.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Gib. Okay. Liz votes yes.
David, yes.
Bernie, yes.
Aaron, yes.
It is.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
You too. Okay, did anybody come in for 83 Main? No. Okay, 81 Main. Come on up, tell us about your project. Are you Jennifer? Yes. Okay, great.
We're not scary.
Really?
Sorry, we try not to be scary. I get very nervous. I've had this again.
Okay,
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so my name is Jennifer Howard, and along with my husband Todd, and our family, we live and run a business out of 81 Main Street. And we're here today to request the installation of heat pumps in our retail store and 2 residential floors of our building. We have provided you with the details of the outside placement and the specs of the units we would like to have installed. We have already done the research earlier, but then we got the Village Voices and we're excited to see that Village is doing a heat pump campaign. And we were given useful information on tax incentives from NYSERDA, the New York State Historical Association, and personal taxes. So we went ahead and got some quotes, and we found a good company that gave us a good quote from Upstate Spray Foam out of New York, from here in New York. And so we worked with them, and they came back with a good offer, and we had to work with NYSERDA as well. Couple companies did not. So we're just here to ask if that's okay, I guess.
if the installation of the heat pumps as you are proposing is going to qualify for a permit, that's your request, right? Okay, so does anybody have any questions about the application that's been proposed to install mini split units and so it really is just 2 units, correct? Yeah.
Yes. So the red box and then one of the blue boxes, right?
Well, there's 2 options for one of them. So there's option 1 would be on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
or we could put it up higher.
Mhm.
The one on the ground, we thought might be a problem because of the snow plow.
Mm-hmm. That's a tight space.
Might hit. So we could put lattice around that, or we could have it hung. We kind of wanted it hung up because of that option, you know, the lot of snow plow coming in and just.
Understandable.
Or people, you know, people back there playing their patio, my kids are back there was playing ball and futzing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what they're gonna do.
You never do know.
So I walked past on my way over here, and I noticed that the sort of rear of your building had 2 really tall windows, and they're covered with plywood. The upper part of those windows is covered with plywood?
On the first floor,
Yes.
yes.
So, and the windows have dimensional headers, so the trim at the top like sticks out from the window. I guess my question about the one that's mounted on the wall, it seems like it would be covering that sort of piece of plywood that's covering the window, as
Right.
well as the trim that's above the window. And my question is it gonna sit far enough away from the wall so that you won't have to damage that trim?
Yes,
And if anybody wants to ever, like if you ever want to use that as a window, can you relocate the unit at some point?
you
If
could. The
Okay.
problem is, somebody, previous owner, put a floor
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So this is on a landing between the 2 floors,
Uh-huh.
and somewhere just right above this door, 4 inches maybe, is an entire floor, which is why they covered up the window.
Wonderful.
Unfortunately.
Hmm.
And my question is similar. The other unit, the one that's above the door, is that actually over that kind of brick overhang? I've had a little bit of trouble with the illustration. So the line here,
Can I just?
sure, come on over. So there's a line here, is that pointing to here, or is that gonna go here?
It is right up here under
Okay,
this, whatever.
it's the
this
black
is.
and white then that was,
Yes.
yeah, okay,
So there's actually no ledge here.
okay.
It's just a bunch of electrical wires with black.
So it goes underneath this window, thanks.
Yes.
Okay, so it goes underneath this window, and this was a little confusing to me, but
Sure.
that's me. Okay, so this is helpful, so it's underneath that kind of half built-in window
Yes.
opening, okay,
Well, there's a half-filled window here,
Right.
half-filled here. The floor is right here, so I can't even take those out. This is the second floor, and so it would be right below this opening on the second floor. These are mother-in-law doors, I like to call them.
so what, you can show your mother?
Yes, exactly.
I joked with my mother.
Oh, she's not watching.
My mom was.
So there's one here also, but they open up.
Okay, okay. And then this is, again, an inset of sorts, just a little bit. Is that gonna cause problems with the kind of,
The brickwork right here?
the brickwork and also the electrical lines, or the lines that are run there? It's gonna kind of be separate over
Yes, it
it?
has to go out from the building a certain distance,
Mhm.
5 or 6 inches, I believe. And then there is no indent here.
Okay.
This is all straight across.
Okay, but you can run the unit in front of those lines and not be a
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
Okay,
And then this will come out. There's actually one here now and one there, and we'll take those out.
okay, great. And maybe you need to have things pointed to.
I have a picture on my phone, I can pass it around if you want.
Okay.
How do they do the attachment?
What's that?
How do they actually attach it to the brick?
They will put holes in the brick and, use bolts and bolt it straight down.
Is there a metal frame holding it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, is the metal frame painted?
It's black. On this one.
So, I know.
Yeah, like a matte black almost.
And I guess you're gonna brace it, angle braces or something for extra support?
Yes, yep.
And your masonry on that side of the building is sound and you want
Yes.
any problem with that?
Yep, it's a beautiful building.
Bernie, do you have any other questions?
It doesn't sound like in the future, someone, over time, because they only have a life expectancy of what, 30, 20 years or something like that, they need to take it out and the masonry is not going to be super damaged or anything like that. Okay, cool.
Our guy told us it wouldn't be that much of a problem to move it in the future. If you had to, it would just be a couple $1,000.
Yeah, okay.
So.
David, do you have questions?
Yeah, for maintenance, so we get on a ladder or a lift?
Yep, it will be probably 12 feet off the ground, 10 feet off the ground, I imagine.
So,
Yeah, and they'll definitely need a ladder, but we kind of like that because like Jen said, every day there's kids back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Baseball.
Well, that's a tight alley.
It is.
Yeah. Bonnie?
No questions.
Right, keep some of the dust out.
No question.
Yes, exactly.
Karen? I didn't mean to interrupt, just give you.
No, I do not have any question, well, no, I do have questions. So the white lines in your drawing are the conduit to hide the vertical?
Yes, the white line is going up to our living floor, which is the third floor.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna have 3 units up there, 2 bedrooms and a living room.
Inside the
Yes.
place.
And this will be both heat and air conditioning, so we're gonna get rid of about 95% of the oil we burn. And we're gonna get rid of 6 window air conditioners, 2 in the front, 3 in the front, 3 in the back.
Go ahead.
Do you know how much they weigh? Like, I mean,
Usually the steps.
Yeah, we did send a spec sheet, I don't know what it was.
Yeah. And sometimes, yeah, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I know they're not light.
okay, I
Yeah.
don't have the information.
Unit weight. But it's, sure, it's more than 31.6 pounds or kilograms, but that's what it seems to say.
Well.
Oh, that's the indoor unit, I'm sorry.
124 pounds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got the outdoor, I was looking at the indoor.
No.
Okay, yep, and somebody can read the specs. Yeah, thanks for asking, Lizzie. Any other questions? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I do.
Great.
I propose that HPAR provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 81 Main Street based on 2A, 3B, 4A, and 5.
Thank you, Bernie.
And those are like sections of the law, and instead of reading the whole, all the words,
Okay.
it's the shortcut. You can look it up.
I know.
Excellent bedtime reading.
And 5 is energy efficiency, among other things, so
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
You should have presented you a much
You both did a great job. So we need a second. We're almost there. Okay. Okay, Elizabeth, yes.
David, yes. Bernie, yes.
Aaron, yes.
It is.
Thank you. Okay, now you're there.
You know, have to use that special mother-in-law door,
Right.
it has something to do with son-in-law, I think.
So about the mortgage.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, So, I don't know.
They are beautiful. That's-
So, Erin is recusing herself from the meeting.
Well,
For this presentation.
Old school. Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful. It is.
Putting a different hat on.
Won't be for all. It won't be on.
No,
Those
no.
are so-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Erin and James, would you like to come up and tell us about the project?
Sure.
All right.
Hi.
Uh,
Erin Richardson, this is my husband Jamie.
Nice to
We
meet
live
you.
at 22 Ladder Stocking Street.
So we are proposing a project that we have wanted to do for 15 years. And there is no good time, so this is the time. We would like to construct a garage, a single car garage with some short space on the rear of our property. And then remove an existing woodshed structure and replace it with a nearly identical structure that has an actual foundation and has actual heating and electric installed by James. So that it can be used more comfortably all year round. And then as part of the project, we also want to replace one incredibly crappy window on the west facade with a reproduction window that will match the two other windows in that same block of the house in the same part of the facade. It's actually the space we use as our laundry room, and that window was installed probably in the 1960s. It was a low-quality window from a local hardware store, but currently it's held up with an empty prescription bottle.
Been there.
Whatever recycling is at hand, that's what helps us keep the window open. Oh, and then we're also adding a deck to the rear because our only real outside space has a western exposure, so at the end of the day, when you wanna relax outside, it's 400 degrees.
In the shade.
No, there's no shade.
Okay, that's an exciting project.
Yeah, so in the design, one more thing.
Go ahead.
In the design, we really, try to make the new part not pretend to be part of the old part of the house. And the woodshed structure is actually quite well maintained, and it's greater than woodshed. It is not awesome for four-season people to try and not trees. I've got a space heater, a wall unit, whatever, a heated floor pad, and a variety of insulated curtains.
So that's quite cozy, huh? All right.
And you're replacing the rear door with a window in the same style in the main house.
So the rear door that goes from the structural wall of the house, that's not getting replaced with anything. It's getting moved over a little bit, and it's just having nothing.
So
That's already been approved.
oh,
That was an old, sorry, that got stuck on there from an old
I mean,
project.
it looks good, but
Yeah, no, that was approved previously. The door is technically still there, but it's covered with siding until we cut the hole through the window. That will be actually the same as the window that's going in that laundry room space to replace the 1960s window.
Okay, that was a good question to start for clarification. I'm sorry, I remembered when Erin came to us for that, so I apologize for not asking for. Okay. Are there additional questions for Erin and James?
All the materials are the same as on the house, except for the deck. And then some kind of will be Trex or some other manufactured, easy to maintain material. All the windows will be produced by Richardson Window Works.
I was not thinking you were gonna get, window world windows for this project. So tracks for the decking, the skirting, and the railings and stiles, right?
We're gonna do railings and stiles on board, just the
Okay.
floor and the treads.
And then the overhang on the back door, simple bracket, right?
Yep.
The garage materials to match as well, correct?
Garage materials to match the house, the garage door is insulated steel. The person door is paintable fiberglass, it's solid. Yeah. We try to make the door divisions harmonize with the front door division, so it's 2/3 and 1/3.
Thank you.
What changes are going on with the woodshed?
That's, yeah,
Demolish.
that we are demolishing the existing woodshed and replacing it with a nearly identical structure.
So I guess what I was curious, what part of it isn't the same, if there is anything that's.
It is like 4 inches longer, and will have a full foundation. The current woodshed is on pillars. And the windows are different. The door placement is different. But it's essentially the same size.
Pitch of the roof is slightly different,
Right.
kind of jives with the pitch of
This
the
is
roof of your
great.
house a little more.
So, yeah, I didn't want to have a flat roof. I didn't want to do a parapet wall for addition, so that's sort of the most reasonable slope for water and snow. And it'll just have a whole material roof like the rest of the house. And then the garage will have shingles.
That new window to replace your old functioning, dysfunctional window is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Bernie, did you have any other questions?
Nope.
Dave, do you have any questions?
I'm gonna exit the place. If you have further questions, you can ask James.
Just a comment that I mentioned to Aaron earlier, that I think the application is really fabulous.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, they were all so nice.
Well, you know, to be, if you'd be willing to share, I think to have this for Chris, provide to applicants to say, this is, you know,
Yeah.
you should aspire to this kind of level of detail and clarity.
Sure, I'm the stand-in, it's mostly Aaron and my mother.
There you go.
Take
Take the credit.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear, yeah.
Wasn't me,
But otherwise, any questions?
But yes, and some good construction help too, that kind of help with that, yeah. Bonnie?
No questions.
Yep.
No questions.
Lizzie? Okay. I think we grilled Aaron enough. This application does speak for itself. We need to set a public hearing for the demolition of the woodshed. And so would anybody like to make a motion to set a public hearing for the demolition of the woodshed?
So moved.
Thank you, David. Second. Thank you, Bonnie. Okay, so we'll have a public hearing at the October meeting. And now, would anybody like to make a motion regarding, if there are no questions or hesitations regarding the proposed addition and window replacement at 22 Leatherstocking?
And the garage as well.
And the garage, thank you.
Yeah, so
Oh, so the motion is for should I break it down in terms of the, or just?
I think you can do it as proposed, since the
Okay.
package is complete. If we had a lot of things we were really concerned about with different aspects of it, then I would break it down.
Perfect. I propose that HR provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 22 Leatherstocking Street based on 2A, 2B, 2D, 4A, and 5.
Is there a 2D?
There's no
such
2D.
thing, yeah.
You mean 3D?
Yes. Yeah, sorry,
Thanks for
3D.
catching that. We got that 3D instead of 2D. Okay. Okay. Anybody like to second that
I'll
motion?
second.
Thank you, Dave. Liz votes yes.
Dave, yes. Bernie, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And Bonnie?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
Great.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
All set?
Okay, thank
Cindy
you.
and Megan, thanks.
Okay,
James.
thank you.
Okay. So, do we want to look at 83 Main?
That call that came through before, sorry for keeping my ring on, was with that applicant, and he was stuck in traffic and he apologizes. But just so you know, he didn't blow us off.
Okay,
He didn't make it.
okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
What do we do when the person doesn't come?
Well, we can see if there are questions, we can see if it's simple and people feel comfortable.
The problem is, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
this applicant last time was going to take off some siding and see what was
Right.
underneath it and then report back to us. So we don't really have that information. There's nothing new to act on.
So,
I found a photograph of it before the drawing.
Oh, great.
And it looks like it had these big transom windows that are now covered with.
right,
The,
with the siding.
when the siding, I would assume they got their structural, so I assume that it's still underneath that.
Let's hope so, yeah, that would be awesome. Do we want to see if he's able to join us by phone to tell us what he wanted to report?
I went past the property today. There's nothing to see. Like, I thought that they had removed something and I could peek behind it, but I don't know that they did anything.
I don't think we need to
Okay.
use, I just happened to text to say, hey, where are you? And-
Right, he's in
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And he's
So-
driving anyway.
If he didn't update you on anything, and there's nothing new to report, and we don't see any changes, I'm not sure how much we can do at the next meeting. Before we do the minutes, and you have any other discussion folks feel they need to have, Aaron did point out that in November, the board meeting would fall on Veterans Day. So we will end up putting out a planning poll to figure out when to reschedule the November meeting for. But that may not happen for a few weeks, but we won't meet on Veterans Day since it is a municipal holiday. So we can't count on our Cracker Jack now. The village is technically not open that day. So just so you know, for your calendars, we'll reschedule the November meeting and find a mutually agreeable date. Did folks get a chance to read the minutes? I did not, yes. Thank you. No, they didn't get distributed.
No.
No, I didn't think so either. When we had review in here, I'm like, that was me. I apologize. I had a little bout of anaplasmosis in August, so the month has kind of disappeared. So,
You look great.
well, the brain fog is still there, I can tell. But, yeah, so I'll get that to you. So, thank you. I apologize. Okay, so I think, anything else, Laura?
I have one question. Which I guess is a public meeting question. So I get notifications when various types of contracts are offered through New York State. And some of the notifications I got this week were for New York Forward projects in Cooperstown. So it seems like part of the process is that the Mohawk Valley REDC staff publish on behalf of the property owner bid information for contractors to bid on projects, although the project's scope of the projects have not been approved anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I was just wasn't clear on the process, so I was surprised to see, so if you go to New York State Contract Reporter and look for Cooperstown, you'll see 4 or 5 projects, some of which we've seen here. And they're really not well described. It's just a question mark about the process for those grant funds.
And although I've communicated with the New York Forward folks,
Mhm.
anybody with any exterior work is supposed to be coming to us for their permit as a precursor to the project.
Right.
So I can follow up with them, and if you want to pull those addresses
Yeah, sure.
and let me know, we can kind of make sure that we're not having any miscommunications and they understand the steps.
I can tell you that the scope of work that was posted is not enough for anyone to submit any kind of bid. So I'm really unclear as to what all is transpiring.
Do you think maybe we need to come up with our side of that protocol? Because I think sometimes, I mean, they put out the call, the RFP, and everybody scrambles to get their proposal in, and they do all that before they know whether they're, I mean,
Whether
they don't know
whether
whether
they have
they're gonna get
approval
the
to do the
money.
work.
And yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like that the process to get the funds, why would you seek the permit if you didn't know you were gonna get the funds? And I mean,
They're funded, they're projects that have been funded.
Right, and we did
Sorry.
give them, we did give the New York Forward folks feedback on what we would need to see from the applicants based on what they were giving us, like where the applications were vague, or where we had questions based on their vague applications, knowing that the applicants would have to probably provide us with even more information, but we were kind of trying to read the tea leaves. So it is, yeah, that's why I will reach out to them, like, how did this get to bidding if we haven't even weighed in completely on our questions or expectations? So, yeah, we will, I'll reach out to Heather, especially
I'll
knowing
send
which
you an
ones
email.
are out there.
I guess I'm not exactly sure how I feel about if somebody goes to ask for bids for something that we haven't approved yet, so they can figure out what kind of money they're talking about. That doesn't mean they're not gonna go ahead and check with us later.
They have to, and the New York Forward knows that they have to get permits, et cetera. It is kind of a cart before the horse thing, because we would have asked more questions or potentially put more layers into the project specs and, once we got to have that
And
conversation.
this is the first year of New York Forward, and this is also, Cooperstown was one of the first grantee communities, so there's no protocol. And so we're helping them, we're all learning together.
Yes, and also one of the first test cases in terms of a historic district.
So I'm sorry, can you just take 2 seconds
Yeah.
to explain what New York, I must have missed the New York Forward
Who wants to
announcement.
Aaron, do you wanna-
Yeah, so New York Forward is a state economic development program. Communities apply to receive a big bucket of money from New York State in order to accomplish various goals that fit into some kind of long-range plan. So Cooperstown applied and was granted funding for various municipal projects, as well as some of the money was set aside in a small project fund. And what New York State thinks is small is kind of funny. So in order to receive money from the small projects fund, property owners in the New York Forward region of Cooperstown, which is like Main Street and like
It's a very strict little,
like Main Street and part Pioneer Street and part of just maybe, so anyway, there were a lot of applications, some of them were funded. And so just like any other project, they may have received funding from New York State, but they still need to follow all of the village zoning code. Like, just because New York State gave them money doesn't mean they can like build an 18-story hotel on Main Street, right? okay, the process to do all of these things isn't written down anywhere because there isn't a process yet. So property owners have been notified that the general idea of their application has been funded. What exactly the details are, like, okay, somebody says there are some heat pump projects as part of that, right? So we want to install 4 heat pumps. So yes, you can install 4 heat pumps, but they still have to come here for placement approval before they can get their funding. But some of the projects are not as simple. Some of the projects are, we want to like do all this stuff to our facade and also make some apartments and do some, they need a lot of different kinds of approvals from different village boards before they can expend the money that they have been awarded. They also don't think they directly expend money. It's not like New York State writes them a check. New York State pays for services provided to them. So they will pay the contract. New York State will pay the contractor that installs the new siding. I have no idea how, I think somebody was like, this is a great idea. And there are different parts of New York State that have procedures for this to happen, but none of them operate out of the regional economic development offices. There are like 16 different other parts of state government. Yes.
What I'm wondering though is, let's say a person who's been awarded a New York State Forward project, they know the money amount that they're going to be able to get. They might reach out to contractors to see if it's realistic to do what they want to do. And if it's not, we scale back their project before they come to us and say, I want to do this, and then find out that they can't really afford it. I'm just wondering if that's a possibility we shouldn't worry about. They still got to see us, so if they want to waste the contractor's time potentially.
It's just that the way, so normally when information for bids is posted through New York State, there is a lot of very specific detail that is provided, and in these cases, no detail was provided. It sort of said property address, make 2 apartments, repair porch.
That's weird.
There's no like attached documents, there's not, like, there's just, and as a person married to a contractor, I would not, nobody's even asking questions about that, because it's just kind of like, what?
So I can tell you, because I do have the spreadsheet of what they approved, the 5 small projects that they approved. One is, according to the scope of work, all interior work. It does not replace windows. It does not suggest any exterior work. One we've approved already. They've been proactive and been before us. So those 2 of the 5. One involves HVAC system upgrades, including new compressors, a move to the rear of the roof to declutter the exterior, replacing doors, insulation, security, and appearance, and upgrading lighting. One is removal of a false front to restore the historic roof line and install a new gutter system, upgrade windows, and we would have asked what they meant by, oh no, excuse me, skip that one. Ignore that. That one we've taken care of. One is restore the front facade by removing siding, then scraping and repairing the metal.
Isn't that
And that's-
83 Main Street?
No, it's
Gary's
listed as,
taking
at least it's listed as 81 Main Street though.
Yeah.
Oh,
81 is the wooden building.
oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little cross-eyed tonight. So that is 83 Main Street, so they're coming to us. We
Yeah.
had that conversation, I apologize. So 3 out of the 5 are, addressed in some way, because one doesn't have exterior, the other 2 are in conversation with us. And one is the last one that Aaron kind of alluded to, the removal of, renovate 2 of the 3 apartments to code. 2nd floor will be converted into a 2-bedroom apartment, including updated electrical, heating, insulation, windows. So windows will come to us. and the other is exterior repainting and updating of front railing. So that is, depending on what they plan to do with the front railing, we may look at the railing, but we'll look at the windows on that. So we've addressed one, we're addressing 83 Main, and then there are two others, the HVAC lighting and door replacement, and then the window updates, depending on what that means. So there are two properties that'll come to us still. So, and I'm not sure which ones Aaron saw in the contract reporter, and trying to be, especially with properties that haven't come to us yet, I'm not giving the specific address, just to kind of keep some public integrity intact until they actually come to us with an application. Okay. Public discretion, I don't know. I'm trying to be careful. Can't use the words tonight, but, so that's what we'll be looking at eventually. Make sense?
Yeah.
So those are, I mean, the windows are the ones that kind of give pause, the doors, but the other one is HVAC stuff that should be relatively cut and dry. Okay. And Bernie, good question about the trucks, and I never know either, and we should have a conversation and, maybe do a little research and kind of think about what people's questions are related to it when it comes to us. The decking on a front porch, especially that street facing versus the rear deck, that's less obvious.
How far the porch is from the road.
Yeah, or, I was concerned about the dimensions of the boards themselves.
That's a good point.
And, especially because those posts are pretty, original and significant in terms of they're unique. And don't want them to become, any kind of thickness to become an issue with that replacement. So.
Motion to adjourn.
Unless anybody has anything else, think about your trucks questions and start putting a list together. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Liz. So Liz.
Have a good night. Sorry. Turn off your mics.
I just saw here through
Yeah.